Last video we discussed valence bond theory, that is VBT theory, and extended VBT theory and orbital overlap. The main defect of this VBT theory is it does not explain the shape of the molecule or the geometry of the molecule. So what is molecular geometry? It is nothing but a three-dimensional arrangement of atoms in a molecule. So we can predict the geometry of the molecule with the help of valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, otherwise called as VSEPR theory. In this video, we are going to discuss what is VSEPR theory, how does it help to predict the shape of the molecule. At the end of this video, you will be able to describe the concept of VSEPR theory and also to apply the VSEPR theory to find the shape of the molecule. So how to predict the shape of the molecule? First you take the structure of the atom. Here you will have nucleus at the center and the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a definite orbit. The outermost orbit is taken as the valence shell. And the electrons present here, they are called as valence electrons. They are called as valence electrons. And these valence electrons are involved in chemical bonding. So for covalent bond, these valence electrons are shared between atoms to form the covalent bond. Then we have studied Lewis dot structure, which is a short notation of distribution of electrons around the atoms. So it just gives the distribution of valence electrons around the atoms. For example, you take beryllium chloride, and here these two electrons are shared between beryllium and chlorine. So they will come under bonding electron. So this is also a bonding electron. And these electrons which are present on chlorine, they are called as non-bonding electrons, otherwise called as lone pairs of electrons. And this Lewis dot structure depicts the presence of bonding electron, non-bonding electrons on each atom in a molecule, but it does not give the shape of the molecule. So shape of the molecule can be predicted with the help of VSEPR theory. So this VSEPR theory assumes that the arrangement of these electron pairs around the central atom will determine the geometry of the molecule or the shape of the molecule. So to know how to predict the shape of the molecule using VSEPR theory, first we have to study the assumptions made by VSEPR theory. So first one, the valence electrons around the central atom repel each other. For example, you take beryllium chloride. So beryllium has, this is the central atom, it has two electron pairs, and these two electron pairs, they will repel each other. So the second one, the valence electron arrange themselves in such a way to minimize the repulsion. So these two electron pairs, they will try to arrange themselves in such a way. They can be here like this, or they can be here like this. So or it can be like this. So in which position they will have minimum repulsion, that place they will take. They will arrange in that way to minimize the repulsion and maximize the distance apart. So when you see this one, so there will be more repulsion, and this one also there will be more repulsion because they are very close to each other. But here they are very far away, so there will be minimum repulsion. So these two electron pairs, they arrange themselves in this way to minimize the repulsion. And this arrangement will give the shape of the molecule or the geometry of the molecule. In this case, the beryllium chloride gets the linear shape or linear geometry of the molecule. The next one, the lone pair exerts a greater repulsion than bond pair. So here when you take water, you have like this, and here this bond represents a pair of electrons, and this also a pair of electrons, which are called as bonding pairs. And this oxygen, which is the central atom, has two lone pairs of electrons which are not involved in bonding. They will remain as a lone pair. So they will be remain as a lone pair. So the central atom has two lone pairs of electrons, two bond pairs of electron. So when these lone pairs, they will interact with each other, they will repel each other. So there are three types of repulsion. One is the lone pair, they will repel each other, and this lone pair will repel this bond pair, and this bond pair will repel this bond pair. So we can say that the lone pair repulsion is there, lone pair bond pair repulsion is there, bond pair repulsion. So which repulsion is greater? This lone pair repulsion is greater than lone pair bond pair repulsion, which is greater than bond pair repulsion. This is because this lone pair, they will occupy more space around the central atom because they are not localized, they are delocalized. But this bond pair, they are fit between oxygen and hydrogen. They will not be easily movable. Therefore, bond pair repulsion is lesser than bond pair lone pair repulsion, which is lesser than lone pair repulsion. The next point, the two pairs of electrons in double bond and three pairs of electrons in triple bond are treated as a one pair. So for example, you take carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide where you have double bond, C double bond O. This two pairs of electron is considered as only one pair. Similarly, when you take triple bond means three pairs of electron, but it is not considered as three pairs, it is considered as only one pair of electron. So these are the assumptions made by VS-CPR theorem, and using these assumptions we have to predict the shape of the molecule. To know the shape of the molecule, it's better we have to classify the molecules in this way. One is the molecules without lone pair, and then the molecules with the lone pair. So we have many types of the molecules without lone pair, and we have many types of the molecules with lone pair. So one by one we will learn. So we'll take molecules without lone pairs. AB2, AB3, AB4, AB5, AB6, AB7 are the types of molecules where there is no lone pair. So where A is the central atom, B are the atoms which are covalently bonded to A. You take first AB2. Example for this one is beryllium dichloride, where beryllium is the central atom, two chlorine atoms are attached, covalently bonded to beryllium. Therefore, the number of bond pair will be equal to 2 and lone pair will be 0 because there is no lone pair, and these two bond pairs will occupy around beryllium in that position where there is a minimum repulsion. So they will occupy this position, so they will have a minimum repulsion. So they are getting a linear geometry or linear shape. The angle between these two is 180 degree. Next we'll go to AB3. Example for this one is boron trifluoride, where boron is a central atom. Three fluorine atoms are covalently bonded to boron. Therefore, the number of bond pair will be equal to 3. Lone pair, no lone pair. So these three bond pairs, they will occupy around boron in such a way to have a minimum repulsion. So one way is this one. The other way you will have like this. The other way you can have like this. So in which position they will have minimum repulsion? Only in this case. Here there is no minimum repulsion, here also there is no minimum repulsion. So these three bond pairs, they will occupy this position where there is a minimum repulsion, maximum distance apart. So you will have the geometry like this. These three fluorines, they will occupy the corners of an equilateral triangle. You will have like this. You will have equilateral triangle like this. So the angle between two BF bond is 120 degree. So you are getting this shape. So you have these three bonds, they will be in the same plane. So you are getting trigonal planar shape. Because all the three bonds, BF bond, they will be in the same plane. So they are getting trigonal planar shape. The angle is here is 120. Next we will go to AB4. Example CH4, where carbon is the central atom. 4 hydrogens are covalently bonded to carbon. So number of bond pairs, that will be equal to 4. Lone pair, there is no lone pair. And these 4 bond pairs, they will occupy the position around this carbon to have a minimum repulsion. So only when they occupy in this way, they will have a minimum repulsion. So this 2 CH bond will be in the same plane, and this CH bond, which is in the form of wedge shape, they will be protruding to the front, and this dash type of bond that will be protruding at the back. So we are getting the shape like this. So you can join on this in order to get the shape. So you are getting the shape as tetrahedral. Tetrahedral shape you are getting. So angle between these two bond is 109.5 degree. You are getting 109.5 degree. So methane is having a tetrahedral shape. So beryllium chloride linear shape, angle is 120. Boron trifluoride equilateral triangle or trigonal planar shape, angle is 120 degree, and this methane they will have 109.5 degree. The shape is tetrahedral. Next we have AB5 type. Example for this one is PCl5, phosphorus pentachloride. Phosphorus is a central atom. 5 chlorine atoms are covalently bonded to phosphorus. So the number of bond pairs will be equal to 5. And 5 bond pairs they will arrange in such a way around phosphorus to have a minimum repulsion. So this is the arrangement they will take. And these 3 PCl bond, they are perpendicular to each other, making an angle of 90 degree. And these 3 PCl bond, they will be in one plane and they will make an angle of 120 degree. So you can draw the structure like this. That is phosphorus at the center, and one chlorine will be here, the other chlorine will be here, and one chlorine here. So these 3, they will be in one plane. That is a triangular shape. A trigonal planar shape they will take. And one chlorine will be at the top, the other chlorine will be at the bottom. So they will be like this. So we have this chlorine will, when they connect to another chlorines, they will make a pyramid at the top of this triangle. Similarly, when you connect this chlorine with the remaining chlorine, you will be getting another pyramid at the bottom. So you will have a triangular shape at the center and one pyramid at the top, the other pyramid at the bottom. So the shape of this molecule is trigonal bipyramidal shape. You have two pyramids. So bipyramidal shape. So you can see this one. So you have the center, you have like this. This is one trigonal shape. Then one pyramid at the top and then another pyramid at the bottom. So you have trigonal bipyramidal shape. And you have two different angles, 90 and 120 degree. So next we'll go to AB6. Example, we have sulfur hexafluoride. Sulfur is the central atom. 6 fluorine atoms are covalently bonded to sulfur. So the number of bond pairs will be equal to 6. So you have the structure like this. So this is the arrangement of these 6 electron pairs. So you have fluorine here and here like this. So and then one fluorine at the top, the other fluorine at the bottom. So when you connect with this, you will be getting like this. And when you connect the bottom fluorine, you will be getting. So you are getting an octahedral shape. So here the bond angle is found to be, this 4 will be in one plane. The one will be, so when you see here, these 4 will be in one plane. And one will be at the top, the other will be at the bottom. So they are very perpendicular to each other. All the bonds are perpendicular to each other. So making an angle of 90 degree. So they will make an angle of 90 degree. Next we'll go to AB7. Example IF7. Iodine is the central atom. 7 fluorine atoms are covalently bonded to iodine. So the number of bond pairs that will be equal to 7. So you can draw the structure like this. So you have iodine at the center. So one fluorine here, another fluorine here, and then one fluorine will be here. And one fluorine will be at the top, the other fluorine will be at the bottom. So when you connect these 5 fluorine atoms, you will be getting a pentagon structure. You will be getting a pentagon. So you have pentagonal geometry here. Now one will be above. So when you join all these things, you will be getting a pyramidal shape. Then one will be at the bottom. So when you join this everything, you will be getting one more pyramid. So you can say that this is pentagonal bipyramidal shape. You have a pentagon in the center, that all will five will be in one plane. One fluorine will be at the top making a pyramid at the top, and one fluorine will be at the bottom making a pyramid at the bottom. So you will have pentagonal bipyramidal shape. So this one, this and this and this. This all five will be in one plane. And this fluorine will be at the top and this fluorine will be at the bottom, making a pyramid at the top and the bottom. So you are getting pentagonal bipyramidal shape. I will go to molecules with lone pairs. So these are the types of molecules with lone pairs. A is the central atom, B are the atoms which are covalently bonded to A, and L is nothing but lone pairs. So first one you can take AB to N. An example for this one is sulfur dioxide or ozone. Sulfur is the central atom. Two oxygen atoms are covalently bonded to sulfur. Therefore, the number of bond pair is 2 and the number of lone pair is 1. So, we have total number of electron pairs is 3. So, the expected structure is trigonal planar. But due to the presence of this lone pair will interact with the bond pair. So, we are getting lone pair bond pair interaction which is greater than bond pair interaction. Therefore, this structure has changed, distorted, and you are getting a bend shape. Instead of trigonal planar shape, you are getting a bend shape. Now next we will go to AB3N. An example for this one is ammonia, NH3, where nitrogen is the central atom and 3 hydrogen atoms are covalently bonded to nitrogen. So the number of bond pairs will be 3 and the lone pair, you have one lone pair of electrons, so 1. So totally we are getting 4 number of electron pairs. So the expected structure geometry is tetrahedral, but due to the presence of this lone pair, and this lone pair will interact with this bond pair, so we have the lone pair bond pair repulsion which is greater than bond pair repulsion. So this geometry will get distorted and you are getting a pyramidal shape. Instead of tetrahedral, we are getting a pyramidal shape. So you will have nitrogen and you will be getting like this. So these 3 hydrogen you will be getting. And the angle is not equal to 109 degree. Instead you are getting 107 degree. So here the next one, AB to L2. The example is you have water, H2O. Oxygen is the central atom. 2 hydrogens are covalently bonded to oxygen. So the number of bond pair is 2 and you will have this oxygen 2 lone pairs of electrons. So number of lone pair is also equal to 2. So you are getting total number of pairs is 4. So the expected structure is tetrahedral, but due to the presence of these 2 lone pairs, you have the interaction of this lone pair interaction which is greater than lone pair bond pair interaction which is greater than bond pair interaction. Therefore, the shape is highly distorted and you are getting a bend shape or V shape. The angle is found to be 104 degree. So you will be getting like this: oxygen, here one hydrogen, here one hydrogen. So this will be 104 degree. So you have these 2 lone pairs. Due to the presence of these 2 lone pairs, you are getting a distorted structure. The next we have AB4N. Example for this one is sulfur tetrafluoride. So we have sulfur is the central atom. 4 fluorine atoms are covalently bonded to sulfur. So total number of bond pair is 4 and you have one lone pair. So total number of electron pair is 5. The expected structure is trigonal bipyramidal. But due to this lone pair which will interact with the bond pair, we are getting the seesaw structure, distorted seesaw structure. So this lone pair will interact with the bond pair. We are getting a seesaw structure. So you have like this, that is sulfur, fluorine, here one fluorine, here one fluorine, and here one fluorine. So you are getting a seesaw structure with the lone pair. Next we have AB3L2. Example for this one is ClF3 or BrF3. So chlorine is the central atom. 3 fluorine atoms are covalently bonded to chlorine. So total number of bonded pair is 3. And the lone pair you will have 2 on chlorine. So total number of electron pair is 5. Expected structure is trigonal bipyramidal. But here due to the presence of these lone pairs, they will interact very interaction greater than the lone pair bond pair repulsion. Therefore, the structure is highly distorted and you are getting a T shape. So, you are getting a T shape like this. That is, you take a chlorine here at the center and you have fluorine here, another fluorine here and one fluorine here. So, you are getting two lone pairs. So, due to the presence of these two lone pairs, you are getting only T shape. Next we have Ab2L3. The example for this one is xenon difluoride. Where xenon is the central atom, 2 fluorine atoms are covalently bonded to xenon. So the number of bond pair is 2, the number of lone pair is 3. You have 3 lone pairs. So here 3 lone pairs. Since due to the presence of these 3 lone pairs, it is highly distorted, but expected structure is total number of electrons 5, trigonal bipyramidal. But due to the presence of 3 lone pairs, the structure is highly distorted and you are getting a linear shape. So this shape is linear. Linear shape you are getting, and here you have xenon at the center, one fluorine at the top, the other fluorine at the bottom. So here one lone pair, here one lone pair, here one lone pair. Here you are getting a T shape. It is T shape. And here it is a linear shape. Next we have AB5L. So example for this one is iodine pentafluoride. So you have iodine as a central atom and fluorine. 5 fluorine atoms are covalently bonded to iodine. So total number of bond pair 5 and the lone pair 1. So totally 6 electron pairs. So the expected structure is octahedral. But we are not getting an octahedral due to the presence of this lone pair. So there will be a lone pair bond pair repulsion and bond pair repulsion. So you are getting a square pyramidal shape. So like this, square pyramidal shape. So example, you can take iodine as the center and you have fluorine here, here one fluorine, here one fluorine, here one fluorine. So this is square. You will have square like this and then one fluorine will be at the top. So they will form a pyramid at the top. So you are getting a lone pair here, one lone pair. So you are getting a square pyramidal shape. Next we have AB4L2. Example here, xenon tetrafluoride. So xenon is the central atom. 4 fluorine atoms are covalently bonded to xenon. So total number of bond pair is 4. Lone pair you have 2. So totally 6 electron pairs. So the expected structure is octahedral, but we are not getting octahedral due to the presence of these 2 lone pairs. So these 2 lone pairs, they will distort this geometry and you are getting a square structure you are getting. So here xenon at the center and you have fluorine here, here one fluorine, here one fluorine, here one fluorine, and you have one lone pair here and another lone pair here. So this is the structure you are getting, a square you are getting instead of octahedral geometry. So we can say that when you have a number of pairs of electrons 3, trigonal planar, 4 tetrahedral, 5 trigonal bipyramidal, 6 octahedral. Likewise, you remember, if you have a lone pair, then there you will be getting a distorted structure. So distorted structure you have to learn like this. Thank you for watching.